Hey everyone, Night Haro here, and today I want to talk about a CP that I have not seen or heard about anybody really talking about yet. And I'm sure someone has. I'm sure I'm missing it somewhere, but not anyone that I've seen. And I've looked at some of the popular websites, and I just haven't seen anywhere. So I mentioned this in some of my tanking videos, so my recent Nightblade and Templar tanking videos, and I'm going through the whole list. Warden's next, and I'll continue through the list. But I thought this deserved its own standalone video. So the CP that I am talking about is Foresight. And the reason I think this is being overlooked is because I think it's supposed to be like a healing CP, actually. But it's in the very top left of the blue CP tree, at the very tip of the spear, the staff. And Foresight, what it does is after you drink a potion, the cost of your magicka and stamina healing abilities cast within the next 6 seconds are reduced by 75%. So it reduces the cost of your cast of healing abilities by 75% for the next 6 seconds. So it's kind of crazy, to be totally honest, for that short period of time. Your heals are getting close to free, buy one, get three free. All right, so I want to first, before we get into the numbers, I want to sell you on why this is so good. So just think about this, okay? So you're doing Basai, right? And veteran Rockgrove, and you get cursed. And the team is currently DPSing one of the Flesh Atros. You're probably getting less heals than you typically would because one of the healers, or maybe both of them, is instead focusing the tank with the Flesh Atros. You get cursed, and then you can drink a potion, and then you can spam a heal for 6 seconds. You can basically keep yourself alive by yourself for 6 seconds. And the curse only lasts, like 10 seconds or something like that? 9, I forget exactly, but you're getting over half the time that you're going to be able to keep yourself alive completely on your own. And then probably you've saved so much magicka, you can probably keep yourself alive for the rest of the curse phase. So this is a huge help to your healers. Even if you can't keep yourself alive, you're still going to be able to provide yourself with a massive amount of healing for very, very little cost. And that's pretty huge. That's pretty amazing. Another situation, and how I actually, not how I came upon this, but what really made me decide that I needed to mention this, is I was doing Veteran Dreadcell Reef, the hard mode on the first boss, and you get the healing debuff on you. The basically, I think people call it like a negative shield or something, but there's basically like a healing debuff on you. You have to heal a certain amount, and then it goes away, and then you can actually get your health healed, and you're also taking a little bit of damage during that phase. Now, generally speaking, you want to drink a potion during that phase anyways, because it'll actually heal you through the healing shield, so you can drink a potion and it'll bump your health up. So you want to be doing that anyways whenever you take a heavy by the boss, or to a lesser extent the Atronox. But then after that, you want to be healing, help your healers out. And now it's largely on the healers to heal you out of this, but if you can help them, why not? In any fight really where you're taking a bunch of damage, so if you think of like hard mode Kyne's Aegis, or even not hard mode Kyne's Aegis, the last boss, right? Like he hits really hard, especially in the third floor, you're getting wailed on. And there's a lot of other places. So any place where there's like a period of time where you're going to take a lot of damage on your tank, I think this CP is a really great option. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about this table, and I'll kind of explain some stuff. So what I'm going to show you is a way of looking at this that is maybe the most simple mathematically, and I think that a lot of people will like. I don't think that the first way I'm going to show you, I don't think is necessarily the best way to think about it, but I do think it's useful and interesting. So what I have here is over on the left, you see the class that is associated with the heal. The next thing is the class heal, the major one that you're going to use. Now, I'll note that there are extra ones. There's some heal over times and other things that you might use. But for simplicity, I'm just going with the main class spammable heal here. And so I've got all those listed. And then I've got the base cost. And then I have the cost reduction. If you have 3 pieces of cost reduction jewelry, you're looking at a 601 magicka cost reduction, or stam, whichever happens to be the case. Now, I know that like the actual, if you just look at the tooltip, this should be more like 670, I think, or a little bit below. But what I've actually seen in game, and I'm not sure what the discrepancy is, it's fairly minor. It's 700 magic or stamina, so I'm just kind of ignoring it for now. If you know what that is from, what the discrepancy, let me know down in the comments. And then next up is the effective cost. So that's what we're actually gonna be using for our calculations, is the effective cost. And then moving over, I have basically 3 examples. So in the first example, you only cast 3 healing abilities within that 6 seconds. So basically what we have is a reasonable a reasonable like low end of how many heals. If you were using this, you were drinking a potion and you really needed heals, how much you would use, probably 3 casts at least. And then kind of the extreme where all you're doing is trying to heal yourself. Probably you're casting different heals at that point. You're probably using Resolving Vigor or something else, but just kind of go with me, right? We're doing kind of back of the napkin calculations here. So the first thing is the total cost for the number of casts. That's really just used to calculate the rest of the more useful information. And then we've got the amount of magicka saved. So again, this is the 75% of the cost of those casts is how much you're saving. And then the third category here is I have the magicka per second equivalent. And what I mean by that is that I'm averaging out how much that would be equivalent magicka per second, considering that you can only proc this once every 45 seconds. So basically all I've done is taken the magicka saved, and I've divided it by 45 to get the per second. So if you had reduced potion cooldown, like on a Nightblade, as I mentioned in that build, this would actually be much higher, over doubled. So because you would be able to drink a potion every 21 seconds as opposed to every 45. So a little bit more than doubled there. But yeah, you have the equivalent of mag. Now, I will note that mag recovery, which is the number that most people think of, is actually calculated every 2 seconds. So you would actually double this number. And so if you look way over here to the right, you'll see on the 6 times cast. And I just realized I've got typos here. 4 times cost. Yeah, well, I guess it's the same thing. But the 6 time cast, just go with me here. And then the magicka saved, and then the magicka per second equivalent. Now, that is twice as much as the 3 times cast number that we have over there, as you'll notice. And basically what that does is this gives us the low end and high end, these last 2 blocks here. And what I'm calling the low end is 3 casts minimum. So over the course of that 6 seconds, you cast 3 heals. So that is actually the magicka recovery numbers here. And you see that it's quite high. It varies by class, and that largely is dependent on the cost of your self-heal on that class. So, this is all very well and good. This is a significant amount of mag recovery, but this doesn't really do this justice, because we're averaging this 6-second thing out over 45 seconds. Okay. So in reality, there are certain times in a fight where heals are much more important. So as I mentioned before, Basai with the curses, or if you get any large bleed effect on you, a lot of the new trials have bleed effects, and Teleria. Right after you take the heavy or you dodge roll the heavy, you get a dot on you that's pretty significant. You have to heal yourself up. There's a lot of different places. So being able to pop this during those moments, and obviously that's not going to work every time you get a heavy, but during some of them will help your sustain a huge amount. But more importantly, it can just keep you from dying, okay? Which is the most important thing. And, is this the end-all be-all? Should you use this in all situations? I would say probably not, especially when you don't need it, because when you don't need it, you really want to learn to tank without it. And that way, when you do need it, because you're getting hit harder, then you can use it. But if you're dying beforehand, definitely go ahead and pop this. Definitely go ahead and use it. Put it in your slottables. But I think the real benefit here, and how you can really tell, is 2 different ways. One is just the mag saved, okay? So just looking at the raw amount of magicka, or stamina, I guess, that you would save, and it's all over 10,000, okay? So in a 6-second period, you're basically getting 10,000 to 15,000 free resources, or even a little bit more potentially. But regardless, you're getting a significant amount over the course of 6 seconds. So that's huge. All right. And if you're in Cloud Rest down in the portals, and you're just trying to stay alive, being able to use this will definitely help keep you alive for at least for that 6 seconds. And probably the magicka saved will allow you to stay alive for the rest of the time down there. So it's a pretty big deal. And then probably the best and most useful way of looking at this is when you consider, the mechanic that's happening. So Zalvaka, right, when she does her channeled heavy attack and you need to block and then heal through it, the damage ramps up. You ideally want to roll those attacks. But if you're face tanking them, if you're taking a lot of them, being able to heal yourself a lot during that phase is going to help you a huge amount. And you don't need it other than that short period of time, right? Same with Basai. You need it when you're getting cursed, and then when you're not cursed, you're not taking nearly as much damage. When you get the heavy attack and you get the healing debuff on you with the Twins and Dreadcell Reef, that's a time where you just need healing at that short period of time, and you're not getting heavy attacked all the time. And you can kind of think of your own, your own times and situations that this is how most fights work. There's some mechanic or some time where it's like a quote unquote heal check, or where you're taking a lot of damage, and being able to cast these heals over and over again for a 6-second period is it's a huge deal. It's a huge boon to you, and it's going to really help keep you alive longer. So anyways, I just hadn't seen anybody talking about this CP, so I wanted to get it out there and like, hey, everybody take a look at this. If you're curious more about tanking different classes that aren't just a DK, I have tanking videos on DK, on Necromancer. I'm going through the rest of them. I think the only two I need to do is a Warden and then a Sorcerer, and then I need to update my Necro and my DK tanking videos. But I've got all those on the channel. I've also got quite a bit of raid optimization stuff, if that's something that's interesting to you. If you're wondering what sets you should wear, how to optimize your raid, that kind of stuff, definitely check out the channel. I've got other stuff there. And then I live stream several times a week, so definitely come check that out. If you ever have questions about anything in particular, I've had people pop in and ask me questions about Overland. I can't always answer, but so far I've been able to. Yeah, just pop in, ask questions, say hello. I'd love to meet you and say hello. So, and again, I stream here on YouTube, not over on Twitch, just because I feel like I can make a better experience for my community that way. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's it for today, and we'll catch you in the next one.